Title: The invisible hero of Ashland Steel. The CEO followed an elderly employee who was working double shifts and asked for food. What he saw changed everything. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our latest stories. And tell us in the comments where you're watching from. We love seeing how far our community reaches. The alarm pierced the pre-dawn quiet, slicing the darkness with a shrill urgency. A weathered hand reached from beneath a thin, worn blanket to silence it. Evelyn Carter, 63, lay still for a moment, eyes on the cracked ceiling of her small apartment. The radiator sputtered faintly in the corner, offering little warmth. She rose with effort, her joints aching as they did every morning. The air carried the weak scent of instant coffee brewing in a battered machine that had outlasted most of her possessions. Sitting at the tiny kitchen table, Evelyn slowly sipped from a chipped mug, the black liquid bitter and thin, a poor substitute for rest. The soft creak turned her head. Her daughter, Naomi, shuffled into view, her face pale with exhaustion from back-to-back shifts at the diner. Behind her, the muffled breathing of Evelyn's two grandchildren filtered from their shared room. Evelyn smiled gently. "Go back to sleep, baby," she whispered. Naomi nodded silently. Evelyn rinsed her cup, pulled on her frayed coat, grabbed her faded leather lunch bag, and stepped into the icy stillness. The streets were hushed and dim. She walked steadily toward Ashland Steel, her steps practiced from nearly 30 years of routine. The plant loomed ahead, a fortress of steel and smoke. She swiped her ID. The gate shuddered open. Inside, the machinery slumbered under flickering fluorescent lights. Evelyn began her work alone, maintaining the machines with the calm of familiarity. She liked this time, before the noise, before the others. The arrival of younger workers broke the silence. Most were new, inexperienced, some trained by Evelyn herself. Yet they had titles and salaries she'd never known. A voice cut through the din, laced with mockery. "Still at it, Evelyn? Can't get enough of the grease." It was Chase Bennett, her supervisor, young, smug, quick to climb but slow to learn. "Someone's got to make sure this place doesn't fall apart," she replied evenly. The day dragged on. Evelyn worked through her break, eating a simple sandwich in the shadows. When the buzzer sounded, her limbs were sore, but she stayed. Chase had assigned her extra hours, as usual. She was alone when a quiet observer stepped into the shadows above, the CEO, Nolan Barrett. He had come to review production reports, but found himself captivated by the lone woman still moving below. When Chase reappeared, his mocking tone returned. "Don't drop dead, Evelyn. No one wants that mess." He laughed and walked away. Nolan stayed, jaw tight. He saw not a worker, but a woman holding an entire system together, unnoticed. The reports hadn't told him this. She had. Back in his office, Nolan pulled up Evelyn Carter's file. 30 years of spotless service. No promotions. No bonuses. Just standard raises and ignored recommendations. The deeper he looked, the clearer the pattern. Passed over in favor of younger, less experienced hires. Many trained by her. A memory stirred. Years ago, as a nervous intern, Nolan had frozen during a system failure. A voice had calmly guided him. Check the secondary sensor. It had worked. He'd been praised for saving the line. He never saw who helped him. Until now. Chase entered for the morning briefing, full of self-congratulation. Nolan interrupted him. "That overtime help. That was Evelyn Carter. The woman you mocked." Chase faltered, defensive. "She's just not leadership material." Nolan stood. "She is the backbone of this company. You, on the other hand, are suspended pending investigation." Nolan dug deeper. Every complaint about Chase had been quietly dismissed. Evelyn's name was absent, but he knew she had been among them. Choosing silence because speaking never changed anything. That he summoned HR and demanded a full audit of Evelyn's record and peer reviews. He wanted proof, and change point one line struck him. An old commendation for saving a production line. The supervisor had signed it. Evelyn had prevented a disaster. And he owed her to HR brought more revelations. Consistent sabotage of Evelyn's promotions by Chase. masked in vague terms like not a fit or lacks initiative. Nolan didn't flinch. Conduct interviews. Ask her trainees. Find out what they say. An old grievance surfaced. March 2020. Allegations of ageism against Chase. Dismissed without action. The pattern was clear. Nolan worked through the night. The charts had lied. Evelyn's face haunted him, not for guilt, but resolve. His father's words echoed. A business without its people is just numbers. And numbers don't build anything. That night, Evelyn walked home. Cold. Hungry. She stopped at a corner store, bought only what she needed. She placed a loaf of bread on the counter, then quietly pushed it aside. Not today. Nolan watched from his car, unseen. He followed her to her apartment. Small. Bare. He saw her split her meal between two children. She didn't eat. She simply smiled. "Mommy, will we have breakfast tomorrow?" one child asked. "Of course, baby," Evelyn said. Nolan saw the lie in her eyes. The weight of it all. He left, but her voice followed him. That question echoed louder than any shareholder report. At dawn, Nolan summoned Chase again. "How many times have you recommended Evelyn for promotion?" The excuses came. Nolan cut them down. "You buried her. And for what? Youth? Speed? Optics? She built this place. You used it." Chase was removed. Immediately. No ceremony. Evelyn was called to Nolan's office. She came cautious, prepared for dismissal or lecture. "I followed you," Nolan said. "I saw everything. The store. Your home. Your grandchildren." Her guard rose. "I don't need pity. It's not pity. It's shame." "My shame," he said. "Help me fix this." "Why now?" she asked. "Because yesterday, you were just a name. Last night, you became real." She agreed. "On one condition, we fix this my way. From the ground up." Nolan gathered the board, laid out the audit, exposed the bias, demanded change. "If investors don't like that we invest in our people, they can leave," he said. HR backed him. The executives did not. Nolan promoted Evelyn to senior workforce advocate. Her role: listen, protect, guide. Her voice: now policy. Managers protested. Nolan met them with steel. "You want profit at the cost of dignity? Then get out." Morale shifted. Absenteeism dropped. Productivity rose. Real change had begun. The factory floor buzzed. An announcement. Workers gathered. Nolan spoke of change, respect, restoration. Then, he called her name. Evelyn Carter. The floor erupted in applause. She stepped forward, not for glory, but for truth. "We built this place. Not the machines. Not the suits. Us," she said. "And I won't let anyone be invisible again." From that day, Ashland Steel wasn't just a company. It was a community. Subscribe for more powerful stories. Share if you believe in fairness, resilience, and change. Because this is not the end, it's the beginning.